Hey, good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Tuesday, November 24, 2020, and the time is about 4:17 a.m. Yes, I was dreaming, and then I had one of my vision. Wow. Yeah, you see on the monitor. Yeah, I have my computer on, and I was watching a video. And sometimes what you see could, what could have happened, this subject of what the video was on, kind of intense, definitely could influence what you dream. And I think that was part of what happened, the nature of the dream. Because I have electronics on, and I think the waves that, the frequency that comes out from the device, you pick it up in your dream, and it affects you sometimes. Uh, that's just my reasoning behind this. Yeah, I am tired. I'm just, yes, good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and it is early, early morning. Boy, yeah, I'm just awakening maybe 5 minutes ago, and I was thinking, boy, should I do, talk about this dream? It was very uneasy. It was violent in nature, and it looked real. And then it started to get really weird. And then I finally woke up. And then I had the vision. Yeah, I'll talk about the dream. Um, yeah, sorry, my voice is a little, a little scratchy right now. Yeah, I'm just really getting up, waking up. Um, yeah, I had actually had gotten up earlier and fell back to sleep. That might have been around 2 o'clock, I think. And then now it's like four something. So I was asleep for those 2 hours or so. And I had a very bizarre dream. I just say the parts that I remember. I don't know. Oh, I was with these ladies, and we were in a vehicle. Those large vehicles. What do you call it? Like a what do you call those things? It's like a in between a van and those big cars. What do you call it? A sub van? I forget what you call them. Yeah, it's a bit, a large car, for a lot of people to come in there. And they have this, yeah, what those taxis in New York City use, those big ones. Like, so, a big car like that. A minivan, that's what, a minivan. Some type of minivan. And it kind of looked like the one that my family had growing up. Let's see what else happened. You ever have like in a dream, you feel like you know someone, y- you know, even though in dreams, you you just are living in it. You don't question who people are. And I was with these ladies, and they were like from India type. But it took place in America. Um, and I remember one of my past videos, my past dreams. I was with people from Asia, and they were friends. I was I was like hugging one of them. I seemed like a little child, and there was two Indian ladies. We were on a bus. I'm sorry, diversion, but it's interesting that, like I think why I'm mentioning that, emphasizing that the women were from India or that type of person, because they're not really in my current life. They're not in my circle. So when you start having dreams about people, ethnic groups, whatever, who aren't in your circle, and it's a normal thing. Well, either way, they were on the short side. They um, heavier set. And we were just chit chatting. One of them was talking. I think it was a total of three of us, and we just chit chatting. And the bus, what do you call it, the minivan, is parked by Times Square. Yeah, it was Times Square area in New York City. Times Square is in New York City, in Manhattan. And I don't remember what we were discussing, but it was just chit chat. And this violence thing, something of a violent nature happens by us, and it spills over into our minivan. Again, it's hundreds, packed with people, the area. I think we're initially outside of the minivan, then we're inside. I mean, outside the minivan, and then we're inside the vehicle. And you see, look like these guys, these um, homeless-looking guys. Um, Really, they look really spooky. They were dark-skinned um, American blacks, disheveled, extremely horrible looking, spooky. There was tall and slim, very dirty, disheveled. And the guy, I've seen the guy before. I think I've seen the guy in real life. And at first you don't know what's that. You just see individuals, and then they banged into the car. And something was happening. Something was being done to one of them. One was facing me. Hey, good morning, camp. Good morning. Yeah, and just recounting a dream that I just had. It was of violent nature. And I'm going to talk about the vision that I had. Um, yeah, welcome. So it looked like something was being like something of force was pushing into the guy. Like now one is facing me, and then the victim his back is to me, and I'm in the passenger seat of the minivan, and I'm scared. Like, what's going on? And and I have thoughts when this is going on. I'm thinking, so I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, are they doing? Are they just being lewd or something? What's going on? Because something was being thrust in, and so he was doing something, and I was scared. And then he opens, so he reaches his hand in the the vehicle I was in, and opens the door. I said, oh shoot! And then they all climb in, and I'm wanting, to get help. But I was just like panicking, and they all look mangled together. Um, it just looked like a mangling mess of people. It looked like three people. And then all of a sudden, they climb out the car. I think the passengers, I mean, the driver's seat, and there was like a corpse, I mean, it's really gruesome looking. And he was emaciated. And I remember the guy, the main fellow, because I saw his face, looked like maybe someone in his 40s, 30s, 40s, real street, homeless, really disheveled. And it's just a lot of skin. And the person, the the person number two, when the first one got out the car, the other one he grabbed him and pulled him out through the window, and you just see almost like it's a corpse, and you see a long, linky, dirty, skinny body, and you saw um, body fat, like he was slashed open, and you saw um, like you saw fat tissue and flesh or something. When I saw, I was just horror. We were all in horror. We were all in horror. And I get out the car, and um, I'm trying to get help. I said, "Let me get the cops. Let me get the cops or something." And um, I found a phone, and then I'm trying to dial. Oh, this, yeah, I'm trying to dial. But every time, like when I look on the, I have in real life, I have like an iPhone, the big one. It looks something like that in the dream. And I'm trying to like get it to work. And each time when I'm looking at the screen of it, it's changing, and the buttons won't work. And I'm trying to use this thing, and I noticed that each time it's trying to like, I'm getting more and more confused because it's become more alien, this device in my hand, and it's not working, and the screen's not looking the same. This is where a lot of my dreams, at least in the past, was like um, things don't work, and things, it's confusion, total confusion. So in that aspect, it's like a typical dream I used to have growing up, a state of confusion, and things aren't working, things are broken, and things change in front of your eyes. So then I think I start to head back towards the car to try to find out, find help, because the phone's not working properly. And I think it pretty much ends at that. I have to back up a little bit. Before that scene took place, yeah, I remember something else now. Um, I'm in a waiting room. It looked like a hospital, like a clinic or something, health clinic. And I'm wait, I'm waiting, and then I had to get up for something. Oh no, I remember. Yeah, I get a seat, and then I'm keeping myself busy, and a woman comes. Yeah, and that lady was an Indian-looking woman, woman from India type. And she says, "Hey, how are you?" She's greeting me. And I remember I gave her like a kiss on the cheek. She was a tiny woman, short. She could have been, 30s, 40s or something like that. And she said something after I gave her a kiss on the neck. Um, I don't know. She kind of looked familiar from somewhere. Oh, I think I know who she looked like. This woman, she's a comedian. She's a South Asian from India. I think she could have been born there, but she's living in the States. And she did she's a comedian. Um, she interviewed Kamala Harris before on YouTube. Oh, okay, that's her name. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Yahoon. Okay, yeah, I think it was her. At least reminded me of her. Yeah, and again, I don't know this comedian, but it could have been her. But she had a familiar. She seemed familiar, and Yeah, she was the person that came out to see me. I was at a chair and table, you know, because I remember I had my things on top of the low table. Um, I was to, I think, follow. Oh, when I greeted her with a kiss, and when I'm seeing her, I mean, I didn't know her, but I just felt, I just greeted her that way with a kiss. I do not generally greet people with a kiss, especially if I don't know them. But that's what it was, and she said something like that. Oh, you should have done that. You have to have the man. Yeah, it's during COVID. Yeah, so in this dream, COVID existed, and I wasn't supposed to get that close and do that. She let me know, you know, and so that I think I was to follow her to the room or something somewhere, but I then couldn't find her. Yeah, um, yeah, I remember I left, and then I had to go back to where I was. Yeah, because I couldn't find her. Sometimes when you go to doctors, they walk ahead of you and they don't realize that they're walking that fast and you might have been sitting and your legs are tired because you were sitting for so long and you might be a little achy, so, something like that. So and then I couldn't find her, but she looked familiar, the Asian lady. Um, so then I had to go back to my table where I was, and I had to try to relocate where I was. But again, the theme of this, I got lost, and then I think I eventually found where I was, the desk of where I was sitting, and yeah, I had left my purse. I had a brown purse that was just on the ground, leaning against the coffee table, or what, short table, and something else. I remember, I think I had my phone, something with my phone or some electronic that I had that I was using. So it was like, okay, I found it. And then I think from there, that's when I had the dream, it spilled over to Times Square area in New York City of the fight. I think it was three guys, and they all looked like a mangled mesh together. It was evil. It represented evil and death to me. Uh, and I don't know what happened to the late, because I did eventually go back to the vehicle as I explained, and um, I don't remember what happened to the ladies. And that was it. But my impression with that scene, there seems to be an Asian connection about something with me. I'm wondering whether I'm living a parallel life, and I have a lot of people from Asia I'm associated with. And I think I say it like that because of a prior dream that I have. I just feel, my instincts are that somehow it's related. It's the same type of world or time period. Um, the house that I was raised in, um, the most current dream about that house, I've had series of dreams about that house. Before my father passed, um, the house was in a breakdown stage. Um, oh, what I mean by that, like, I mean, it was a nice house, a big white house, and things, each dream that I was having about the house, that things were being destroyed in the house. And I think finally it was actually on fire, the house. and then dreams following that house, being burnt down. It was being reconstructed. And then the last dream that I had regarding that house, that I was raised in, it had a family. It was a nice sunny day, uh, and there were people on the lawn, people who I didn't know, and they had tables, like picnic tables. You just set up something at your home or something outside. You put like a cloth on top, and it was a lot of, there was fruits, all these foods, and the tree, the tables were underneath the big tree that's at the house on the corner. It's a pine tree in real life, but the tree had this big, exotic, spiky looking fruit. And I think it actually exists, that type of fruit. This weird shape, long, with long, spiky, misformed looking fruit, real exotic. But the family that lived in it, I think they lived there. There were a lot of people from South Asia. Yeah, it was like a family, a young family, starting out. They had young kids. The kids could have been around maybe 5, 6, young. And what I got out of it, the house is now transitioned over into this other family. So it was a complete switch over. And I did actually have actual members of my own, household growing up. And they were in the dream too. And they played the younger self. Yeah, they were younger. And the vehicle, the Volkswagen bus my parents used to have was on the driveway. That was the same. And I'm inside that Volkswagen bus, and some of my family members were there, and they looked young. They were youngster, um, like teens or something like that, teenagers. Yeah, but I just felt, because see, they're not in my circle, people from South Asia, um, and it was an intimacy about it. And so this today's dream and being with these ladies, I forget how many ladies I was with. They were all much, much shorter than me. Um, they seem real. They seem like real people. And I think they were screaming when the guy, the guys banged into the Volkswagen, I mean, the minivan. It looked like a minivan from inside. Yeah, it was very spooky. And then I woke up. Then I woke up and the oh, what was that? Yeah, so now the vision. The vision was very quick. The first scene see, again, a lot of the things start off seeing the ground. I couldn't really tell what I was looking at, but it reminded me of some type of conveyor belt, and it was a repeated pattern. Like you ever see a movie with a newspaper person who, let's say, who makes newspapers, and you see the rolls of the thing just moving, like on a conveyor belt. It reminded me of that, something rapid fire, and it. Oh, I remember I was trying to register what they were. What is I looking at? Because it was very close, and it was in color also. It looked real. Looked like I was there. So it had 3D look to it. Um, there was a off-white color, and then a band of something um, of the darker color. I think it was all in like squares, like the squares might have been smaller than a square foot. I think it was smaller than a square foot, little smaller than that. and it was strips of the dark color that ran vertical, and then you had squares of this lighter color, and it's moving fast away from me. And then there's something else similar. Oh, I don't remember the colors of that. It could have been a pale color. It looked like tile floors, and it's also moving. And that those sequences happen very quickly, and they're moving quickly. And then the final thing that I saw, it was three-dimensional, like I'm there. It was zoomed in really tight. Again, a lot of the things that I see, the visions thing, I don't have control over the distance or the angle. It's just what I see. It looked. I mean, I'm not a cars person, a vehicle person. I don't know what those. Some people they know model name of the car. Not me. I don't know anything about cars. I just know it got a wheel, and that's all I need to know. But what I think it was, okay, it was outdoors. Uh, this dark color, like a greenish blue. It looked like a Jeep. It reminded me of a Jeep. And what do you call it? The front window shield was flat. With most cars, it's like on an angle. It kind of it's like on an angle, but this was flat, a flat window pane, and it had a frame around the front front shield, and it's raining, and it's like a muddy rain. Yeah, the wind, and I'm looking at it. I'm trying to stay real relaxed because now this is the vision I'm having, and so I keep my eyes closed after dreaming, and just relax. And the visions came real quick this time today, um, and so I'm seeing this, and it was very clear, and I'm seeing that it's raining on the vehicle, and you can see I'm seeing the droplets on the window dripping, that it had like a muddy look to it. I see, yeah, it's just the window. I'm not sure if I saw part. I might have seen part of the hood of the vehicle, but just a smidgen. Mostly, it's just zoom in at this window, and it's raining. Again, it's like bluish, a greenish blue color, or bluish green. It's blue, but it has like a green tinge to it, dark color, and it just seemed. It looked like It reminded me of a Jeep, a military vehicle. But again, it's so close. You can't see anything else, and to get a reference of where this thing is parked. It wasn't moving. It was just there, and I was trying to see more, and then I couldn't see anymore. So yeah, so that's what I saw. And yes, I had my computer on. As you see, this is the monitor. I have it on mute. So yeah, and that's outside. Yeah, it's dark outside. I just find I find these visions fascinating because to see things that you've never seen before, that you're not a part of, and the thing with the conveyor belt, I'm not sure what it was, but something was moving very fast. It reminded me of a conveyor belt, something moving rapid fire, and it's so close. And I'm wondering why the things I see is so close. It's it's almost as if that I'm there, I wonder, am I an employee working somewhere and I'm seeing through the eyes of that person? I don't know. I don't know. And then finally, the vehicle. But it'll be interesting today. I mean, I'm almost tempted to go to Times Square area today. Just see, it. Brother, it really spooked me out. The dream. It seemed real, real people. And but the thing with the guys, when the guy got pulled out the car vehicle, then it just seemed like a dream world. It seemed fake at that point. But initially, everything looked real. It was daylight, peak hours, because it was a massive amount of people there. It happened in broad daylight. I feel that these things, I think that some dreams, wow, definitely when there's a dream about where I used to live. It was a beautiful home where I used to live, growing up. But a lot of things things in my life that was not pleasant. And I think life was trying to tell me in the dreams, because it happened over a period of time, the dreams that I would have. Um, I think life was telling me that they're going to dismantle the trauma in that place. Numerology. Please elaborate. Yeah, please elaborate what you mean by numerology. I mean, I've heard of numerology, um, but there was no numerology in the dream or the vision that I had. But um, yeah, it seems like my life is it's telling me, at least through the dream, the house, that there's a transformation of change and it's shifting. Pay attention to the numbers. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see any numbers in the dream. Sometimes in some like in my past visions that I had, after I wakened from sleep or dreaming, I saw words. I saw a monument. And I'm looking at this thing, but I'm not able to decipher. I mean, um, have you ever done this? Like someone could show you a word. I mean, you know how to read, but you have to word it out in your head. If you just look at it, it's just letters, but you don't comprehend what the word. I have to sound it out in my head for me to repeat what I see. It's, it's that's called sub-vocalization. And it's a way of learning, but I never outgrew it. I never outgrew it. So that's how I read. I every word I sound it out in my head. But in the dream world, I'm not thinking, like I'm just experiencing. And yes, every word equals a letter. Yeah, yeah, every word equals a number too. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I wasn't able to read the name. It was something. And again, those places I've never been to in my visions. I didn't know the people. Some of it, what's really weird with the visions that I see, A is one, B is two. Yes, exactly, exactly. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Yakun. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so some of the things I see, I feel as if I am the participant in it. And then other times I am the spectator. I'm seeing through what looks like a monitor or a camera. Like some of it looks like a surveillance camera that I'm looking through. Yep. And they're walking about and like they're completely oblivious of the camera. And I'm seeing this. And it's as real but no audio. I've never gotten audio yet. That would be neat. I don't know how to go about that. And it only lasts for a couple of seconds when um, sometimes seeing it in color, like the Jeep, that was in color and everything. Yeah, yeah. I'm wondering. I'm really wondering, um, are these parallel lives that I'm in? When I do like a regular meditation, you know, um, like a scheduled, you know, meditation session when I'm sitting in my living room or something like that, and just doing a meditation. It's hard for me to see anything. When I first started learning, first doing meditation in 2014, I used to see geometric shapes in color, um, and then I saw a face once. I didn't know it was a man's face. Uh, his face seemed like an ancient, a face from the eight. I don't know, but like when you see faces, some faces look like modern times, like now, and then other faces, just something about the face seems like it belonged to an earlier period, and that was just the impression I got, that his face came from the 1800s. That was just what popped in my mind. I said, that's not a modern face. That's a face from the past. That's what I thought. I didn't know who the person was. Was a European slash white person, and he had a face like this actor, the type of face, um, the Pirates of the Pirates series with Johnny Depp. Remember, there's an actor in the movie. I think his name is Bloom, something Bloom, and he was like the side. Yeah, Johnny Depp, but Johnny Depp had like a person that was in the movie with him, and that actor's last name is Bloom, and I think he was married to the girl in the movie, the young woman in the movie. He had that long curly like black hair. His face, that had a face something like his. No, it wasn't him, but that type, very petite, small man, very angular face. Um, that's what it reminded me of, that type of face. Very, yeah. I feel like I don't know what to make out of this. I want to try to find someone who understands human consciousness, and when you're doing meditation, or when you're sleep and then awaken, I'm tapping into something. I'm tapping into another realm that is very in between, your current reality and the dream world. Astral realm. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely, definitely something. 4D. Okay. Okay, 4D. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, it's something. It's just very, very okay. 4D world. I mean, um, yes, so I've seen things. Um, when I was, I mean, I'm just what's coming to my memory now when you say the word 4D. Actually, when I lived out of state, I used to live in Hawaii. He's trolling. It's okay. It's okay. Thanks, Camp. Yeah, 4D. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Um, yeah, a type of 4D. Yeah, I've seen um, I think I saw like a 4D. Yeah, he's okay. It's okay, guys. Yohoon and Camp. It's all good. Thank you though, both of you. It's okay. Um, yes, and when I lived in Hawaii, my first instance of I didn't know what it was at that time, but I understand now since I do the meditation and the waking. Yeah, I felt uneasy one day. I used to sleep on the floor in Hawaii. I had my own place. Uh, I didn't have furniture. I had moved in and I didn't have furniture, but I had like something to sleep on, like blankets and stuff. But I felt uneasy sleeping on the floor. And when you live in the tropics, you know why. Let me just put it like that. Yeah. In the tropics, a lot of exotic things that crawl at night. And so that's why I was nervous. And even though like I was trying to sleep, um, I wanted to sleep, but my mind was awake. I was too afraid to really let myself go to sleep. But look what happens. Um, all of a sudden, um, I saw it. Like like he was saying about 4D. Yes. It was it all of a sudden in my vision. I think I was sleeping, yeah, I was sleeping on my side and I see a like a portal. Every like light in the center, very bright light, and surrounded is very dark. Was darkness. But within the light were thousands and thousands and thousands of ants. And I see them moving and crawling. I thought I was going to scream real loud. I jump up. I awake, I open my eyes, and it lingered for maybe 2 seconds and then disappeared. And I was just in a dark, dark room. I believe what happened at that point, um, see, I wasn't fully, I was in a hypnotic, um, meditative state. Because I just, my body was sleeping, but my mind wouldn't shut off. I was afraid of the ground. And what I learned in with metaphysics, energy flows where attention goes. My attention was on the ground beneath me. I couldn't stop it because I was afraid. I had gotten bitten by a bug before when I was asleep, and I was really nervous to really fall asleep, completely, to shut off my mind. And so, because my attention was on what I was sleeping upon, the floor, I was able to see a portal in it. I kid you not. It was 3D, or I should say 4D. Yes, it was. It had depth, everything. Like you could put your hand right through it. Yep. So that was my first experience. Now that I think about it, that happened. Um, how many? That happened like in. Oh, I'm trying to remember. In could have been 2000. Yeah. 2001. Yeah, 2001. That happened. Yeah, and yeah, 2000. Yeah, 2001. Yes, it did. It happened in 2001, that vision. Yeah. That's the first episode. But again, when it happened, I didn't have anything to compare it with. Yeah, exactly. 9/11. Yeah. Um, I realized from that experience, again, that was the very, very first, and I thought that was just a dream, but no, my mind was awake, but my body was resting, and energy flows where attention goes. So, and that's what meditation really is about. Like, um, you can meditate, just let your mind go blank, but you can also do this other thing. You can have what they call focus. You actually focus on a subject, on a thing or place. And if you do it really strong, you will see that. And let me explain. Another thing happened to me more recent. Sorry. It happened more recently. Um, this could have been last year. Okay. This was a formal meditation, and I always make that distinction: formal and informal. Informal meditation. When you hear me say that, I mean like when I just wake up from my sleep or dreaming, and I just stay in bed and I just keep my eyes closed upon awakening, and just relax. That's an informal meditation. Formal meditation. I'm at my living room. I'm sitting in my on my pad, and I have my candles and my incense on. I said, I got, that I consider formal. And this was actually the first time I did this type of meditation when I said for the first time, I said, I do the meditation, but I usually don't have an aim. I'm going to have an aim this time. I'm going to have a focal point. I want to know whether I want to focus on the moon, and if any life or colony is on the moon. And this was done for about an hour, my meditation, and because it was towards the end when the thing came about. Again, I'm just sitting there, my eyes closed, fully relaxed, and then it happened. Yes, let me tell what happened. Well, two things happened. I saw what looked like the moon. I did. I, it, it looked 4D, like I was there in space, and it was close. I saw every crater. It was, and it had light on it. It's as if a beam of light, or I guess the sun, shining on the moon, but it was on an angle, meaning it wasn't like a full moon. It, the edges on the more on the right side was all shaded, you know, and more on the top left was the full illumination, you know. And I'm seeing all this thing, and then it switched to something else. And then guess what the next thing I saw? I saw a being. Yes, I saw a being. And it was like 4D, like this guy's saying. Yes, it was, because there was depth. It wasn't like, it looked more dimensional than this physical life. This thing had so much dimension, and it was extremely clear. The being I've never seen before and never since. I never saw it since. Um, his head, I just think it was a he. It just seemed male to me. I just saw from like the shoulders up, and his head was down. And I see a massive head, like it was massive, the size. The crown, the where the brain would be. And it was not a mushroom. Um, his head, his head. Oh, I've heard about those, the mushroom heads. I have heard about those. No, they're gonna laugh, like a football. You know how a football that is kind of pointed on each opposite side, like that, but it was bigger. It was the center of it. It was massive, like a melon, as big as like a honeydew melon. Yeah, the side, the center of it was massive like that. It was kind of flat in the back, no hair. Skin looked very leathery. It was thick and leathery in texture. I didn't touch it. And it's about maybe a foot away from my vision. This thing was close, man. Um, and it had like these bands, like underneath the skin. It seemed like a ridge, like a flat ridge that was maybe uh, a half an inch wide, running across its head, and it was in a pattern or something that went across the head in different parts. It was really complicated to look at. I've never seen anything like this, and it had t- it its body seemed small though, uh, but it seemed small. The body seemed small. I don't remember whether it had any clothes on, but it seemed slim. And the head, I think, was bigger, wider than the shoulders, too. Yeah. The coloring was maybe the skin was show because I saw the color, skin color. It was a brown toga, a brown toga. No, it was tight. It seemed skin tight, not a toga. If you're saying that like a toga, no, it may not have had anything on, or it just had beard. I saw skin because when I'm looking at it, I saw every pore in its skin. It was you saw such clarity. Yeah, no toga or anything like that. This was raw skin like very leathery, and but you can see it was well illuminated. You see light reflecting off of it because of the clarity it was, and you can see each like it had pore. Like I have a camera, and you can zoom in so close that you can see the pores of my skin. It does that. And so what I'm seeing is through that type of lens. It's really clear. And I said to myself, I might have seen it for maybe 10, 15 seconds. I mean, I saw a good look of it, but I'm not good in details as I should be. I have to learn how to recall with better details. When I just looking at something, I just see it. I have to consciously say, okay, what's the shade? Be able to recall it later on. That's just how my mind works. Oops, sorry about that. It's buffering. See that? The phone is buffering. Sorry about that. Could you guys still hear me? Sorry about that. Okay, okay. Did it have a vibe of Yoda? No, no, no. The vibe was, well, it kept its head down, and it seemed like it knew that I would be afraid. Because I said to myself in my mind, the screen is buffering. So I'm glad that you can still hear me. Yeah. Um, okay. I've never seen this before. Um, it kept its head down because it didn't want to frighten me. I pretty much, because I was able to think when I'm seeing this, and it just like came. I said to myself, please do not lift your head. I'm not ready for that. Something like that. I said, please, please. And it kept its head down. And then it stopped. And then I didn't see it anymore and I opened my eyes. Yes, that's what happened. That's honestly what happened. I said, please, because I was afraid I didn't know what it was going to look like. I've never seen it. It had a football head. And there is someone on YouTube who posted, they had a thumbnail, like what you see in front. This is my monitor that you're seeing. Those are all different thumbnails, right? Someone had a video with a thumbnail of the shape of the head of what I saw. I did contact that person. I said, hey, your thumbnail, where did you see that from? Where did you get that from? But they never wrote me back. Yeah. And I understand there is a book that that of an alien, there's an alien book. I want to try to find that book. Linda Moulton Howe, yeah, the program that was just on, it was an audio, what do you call it, a radio program with Linda Moulton Howe. She is a UFO researcher. And maybe I'll contact her. I think she has a website or something. Yeah, I should write her. And again, I didn't see its face because I wasn't ready to see that type of face. I didn't know what to expect. Again, it didn't have hair on the head. You just saw skin, and it looked very leathery, and it had a glossy look to it because how the light shined on it. Um, but yeah, so the whole point of my mentioning about the moon and the being, that was the first time I had an intent. I had a focal point. I said, I want to learn about such and such. I gave a word of prayer, and then I began. I have tried to duplicate it, do it again months later, but I wasn't able to achieve. Yeah. Yeah, I think what happens is beginner's luck. When you don't know what to be afraid of, because you're curious, and so you say certain things, but then you get scared when you get your wish. So maybe part of me is saying, I'm not ready to see that. Yeah, my phone is still buffering. It's that little circle going around and around. I think it's the tropic. It's telling me, yeah, my phone does this on occasion. It doesn't want me to say any more about that. That's what I get out of this. I mean, who's really up this early? So why should it be interference? So it is what it is. Okay, okay, that's it. That about that dream. I mean, that vision. But yeah, you could see things. Okay, if you see a gray alien with small round button eyes, giant mushroom head to hip, that's a Yahweh. Yeah, yeah. Linda Moulton Howell does discuss the mushroom head one. She did. Just yesterday, I saw a video about that. So I know that, you're not trolling. That's what they call it, like a mushroom shaped head. No, I haven't seen that. I have seen in a meditation, a form of meditation, what else? It was it wasn't human. It, it had a skinny, ultra skinny body, um, a pencil neck, the pencil-like body, pencil-like arms, the arms are almost like a praying mantis, real skinny like that. Um, and its head was um, a long rectangular face. It could have been like maybe like a foot long, real narrow. It maybe 5 inches, maybe 3 inches wide, a foot long, rectangular shape, and it had like a light body. It 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 was like a light, like um a greenish yellow or yellowish greenish light illuminated from it, like an energy body. And it was looking at me in the vision, and I looked back. I was like looking, because it was the first time I ever saw anything like this, and it was, I think I was praying near my mirror. I forget whether I was at my mirror, but I saw it as if it was standing by where the mirror would be. And it was very shy. Like sometimes when you look at something, yeah, yeah, light being. Sometimes when you look at something, you get a vibe from it, you know? And I didn't sense danger at all. It looked really shy. It's like its arms were up, its hands or what do you call it, its wrist was up where his face is, and it's together, and it's looking at me from side to side with its head, like tipping to the left, then tipping to the right. It's trying to figure who I was. It was so cute. It looked really shy. Yeah, I said, oh, isn't that cute? It looks shy. That's what I was saying to myself as I was looking at this in a vision. And I was meditating, and I saw this vision. So I know that the world is more complicated than it is. Uh, yeah, there are beings out there. So um, I saw the moon, but um, I wasn't able to go in it like uh, other meditations. Hey, let me see if I can actually go on the moon and see if there are any buildings or anything like that. I wasn't able to get there. I was not able to see it again. Um, and it was very clear. It looked more real than this life because it was 4 dimensional. Yeah, it was ultra depth to it, very clear. Uh, and so is the being also. Yeah, I think maybe I contact her and try to get the name of the book. I did. Want to hear something funny? I mean, I do these things sometimes. I get very bold. I contacted, I think it was I contacted one of the ABC government agencies for under the Freedom of Information Act. Yes, I did. I did this early last year, I believe it was. It was either, yeah, I think it was early last year in January. Yeah, I wanted to find out about me and things. I made a request to see my entire school records, from kindergarten to high school. Yeah, I did that. You want, yeah, do that. That's an assignment that I have for you guys. Request of see what I learned. Let me sit up a little bit. Oh, let me sit up. Yeah, let me tell you something. See, I had gone to visit my school before, my elementary school, and they told me when I went there. I mean, I've been out of elementary school a very very long time ago. And when they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't keep we only keep the school records for 10 years," and she gave me the impression, or was trying to let me think that they just throw it out. No, they don't. And I knew that. Want to hear how I know? Because when you want to get a certain job, things like that, they're able to get your records. They do a research on, like, you want an important job in government, they want to see your entire records. Everything, everything is stored. Remember that. Don't believe those. It was the principal that told me that. Oh, we just discard it. Oh, I wanted to see my records. Oh, no, they just don't want you to see it. Yes, and I'm sure, and I think you guys are much younger than me. Okay, go request. You write a letter to the board of ed, board of education of your city, and you give your full name, social security number, and you say, I would like to see my entire school file. Yes, that is your homework assignment. Yes, Yuhan. Yes, that is your homework assignment. And then it'll take a while. I mean, it probably won't take as long for you because I've been, I'm much older than you guys mostly. So it took a couple of weeks, maybe even over a month. But for you guys, it shouldn't. I don't think it should take so long. And but try it. So you write a letter. Type it out so they can read it. If you know how to type it out so they can read it clearly. What else? Yeah. So your name, uh, the schools you went to, or what you remember. Um, they keep your file together. So even if you go to different, like let's say, see when you go to a different school district, they have to send copies to the new place. Your record follows you. Your record follows you. Okay, people. Always remember that you can't run away from yourself. I'm big. See, it's what I say. I know I started out with the dream and then the vision, but see, these things are all connected because it's about life and reality and what shapes your world. And you may not understand why it seems like every time you move to a different place that everything seems to follow you. Well, it does follow you. They take those records, those school records, and they bring it to the next um, school district you go to. Yes, I'm just letting you know. You want to know what's on your records. So request your complete school file, and, and ask for it because it's the Freedom of Information Act to see your records. Um, Also include what you call IQ tests. Yeah, an IQ test. Because see, they examine the children. The children. I mean, this is my understanding. Children. Sorry. Children are being monitored. Because they want to know who you are. The system. They want to know what your capabilities are, and that's ascertained early in life. When I was a little girl, when I was like in the uh, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, I remember we had to take these weird tests. And I realized now those were IQ tests. Those are IQ tests. They know your IQ. And some people they could take. I met a man again. The guy that I saw. I don't know how legit he is. He has his past, if you know what I mean. Yes, but you could tell he has some. He's street smart, and he's a man of the street. He's a black fellow. But they took away his kid after his wife had died. He has I think 20 children. I know I'm saying a lot and it sounds really weird, but I'm letting you know what's going on there in the community, in the black community. And I'm sure it's not just black community either, um, but it's happening to all over. But his wife had died of cancer, and they took his son. Yeah, yeah. They took his son, and they said, "Oh, we want to put him in a special school for gifted, you know, um, but you can't have access to him. You can't go visit him." And it was upstate New York. Yes, this is what he's telling me. Um, and something else. Yeah, he had a very troubled life. Yeah, I'm saying this for, for your edification, so you know what's going on. They want to make some people traumatized. They want to make some communities traumatized because then it could see traumatization could make you or break you. It could make you go crazy, or it could um, increase your whatever innate skills you have, like a diamond. A diamond is formed by pressure. Sometimes the diamond goes through, the coal goes through the process and turns into a diamond, a beautiful diamond. And then sometimes it just stays coal and doesn't, nothing happens. Some things stay coal, and some things turn into a diamond. So like us on this planet, some of us have great abilities and we turn, okay, we have abilities. We may learn how to play an instrument well, or maybe we become an athlete. Like, see this guy here, like this guy here on this video. Um, the guy to the where it says achieve any goal today. His name is David Goggins. That man that you see there. That guy, second to the far left. Okay, I have his book. Yeah, read his book. Yeah, yes, it's already planned out. Genesis 15, 13, 14. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, what I'm seeing now, see, this is a time to try to put the pieces together. David I calls connecting the dots. And so when you start to study different peoples, like this guy here who I showed you, David Goggins, the black fellow here, who says achieve any goal today, he went through trauma. His father was physically abusive, and he was just on the wrong path, everything. And he had a breakthrough, and he accomplished a lot of things. He didn't even know how to read, and I think he's from New York also. I forget. No, no, wait a minute. Oh, I think I forget where he's from. I forget. I don't want to give wrong information. But he's from the U.S. Black fellow. He had one brother. His father was an extremely violent man, and his mom was very passive. And the mother used to get beat up really bad. Um, and it really got, he eventually and his mom left the father, but it was a lot of trauma. Um, but he overcame, and he is a high achiever, and he has a book out. And I had the book right there on the right next to the monitor. Actually, I have to finish it. I'm halfway done, but yeah, getting back to the records now. Um, everything that you do, everything that you do, young people out there, is stored. So your school records, and then you wonder why certain people may not like you, or maybe some people may like you. They might be reading something about you. They have access to, they know your IQ. You have Deuteronomy. Oh, I have to take a look at that curse. Okay. Yeah. And so these records follow you where you go. And it's to really know who you are, and they select who they're going to select. Many of the blacks, at least what I see, what I perceive in New York City, where I live, out there, that is New York City. Okay, and yeah, um, these kids, you know, kids today, they're just out there. They're not grooming the black children to be anything really. Uh, But okay, they make a distinction. New York City, and I've been saying this now since the CV virus. Okay, you have New York City, or what I should say specifically Manhattan, is a chocolate city. Chocolate, caramel, you know, and they don't want people like us to really go far. They, I mean, there's tons of schools here in New York City. Um, they're encouraging transgenderism in New York City. Transgender. They even have a school for people, and it's nearby. And it's supposed to be an alternative school. And I think these are really, the kids that get picked on, it's for them. Who gets picked on? You know what I'm saying? But it's really catering to that group of people, and everybody wants to go there. Yeah, because the other schools are the black schools, black and Hispanics from the West Indies. A lot of violence, a lot of violence. And what are they really grooming? What they're grooming, in my opinion, what they're grooming the people who live here in this city, maybe military, going to, and enlisting in the military, security guard. Okay. But now with the CV virus, CV-19, um, I don't know what their plan is, because, people are indoors. And so they're creating now a new environment for these kids. Yeah, I haven't been really going on in the daytime. I do have my little dogs, as you guys, many of you know. And I used to get up early in the morning. Maybe I'll do that today. Get up early and just see if the schools are open and to see what the kids look like. See if the kids with the mask. But yeah, they're not going to be grooming these kids for anything great. But they make a distinction somehow. And again, this is not a hate speech at all. It's just an observation. Again, in New York City, they're not grooming blacks, or whether you're a black Latino or mixed race Latino. You know what I'm getting at. You know who I'm talking about. And stop God's prophecy. Okay. Yes. They are going to, my impression, oh, what's I just saying? Yeah, there's a distinction of the black kids and the Hispanic kids from the Caribbean. They want you to do like security work, security guard, work like that. That's all that seems to do it. Very few whites are in the security work, security guard work, to do that type of work. So police force now. At one point in New York history, blacks weren't allowed to be a police officer. They would say, "Oh, you didn't pass the mental exam, no, the psychological exam." That's how they got us. But all of a sudden now we can pass the psychological exam? No. They want to now have blacks to be the police force, the bully cops, and then you have the Asians, people from Asia, whether East Asia, South Asia, or Eastern Europeans. They're using them to be the new scientists. So you're in computers, or maybe you're a doctor, an MD, things like that. Because when you look in the buildings, there are a lot of high-rise buildings here. They are beautiful new high-rise apartment buildings, and who's moving in them? Well, people from East Asia, like China and Korea, you have them. You of course you do have whites as well, but it's like, see, this is what's going on. Like with the again, how you voted or didn't vote, that is your business. Who you want in office is your business because you have a right to who you want for whatever reason you want. But what Biden, Joe Biden is doing, he has like a secret agreement with China. About 2.5, 3 years ago, there was a surge of people from East Asia um, in the area, and they live in these new high-rise buildings. And that many of these are new graduates. Like I briefly had gotten a membership at uh, a high-end gym down the road from me. It's fully equipped. I wanted a full gym. And who lived there? When I was in the sauna room, and there were people from Asia there, and there were two Asian guys in the steam room with me. I was only female there, and I was listening to them talk. And I said, "Hey, I'm just curious." He had a big tattoo on, so that's what started the conversation. I was complimenting his tattoo, and then I was asking about his schooling, and he would say that he just graduated from college and blah blah blah. So yes, so you have the new graduates, these new graduates from college. They're getting their credentials. They're going into jobs that make money. So it's science. Oh, what was he? He was an economics major. I think it's an economics. And this other lady I met from China. Oops, my battery's getting low. I have to get the battery. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, the battery just maybe that's why the thing. I have to take off the earpiece now, so it might have an interference. I have to put the battery because it's gonna go off to put it in quickly before it ends. Get this thing on. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this plug in. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, yeah, I plugged it in the battery. So I hope you guys could hear me. Could you guys still hear me? Press a 1 for yes. Yeah, there's still interference on the screen for whatever reason. See, there's interference. Yeah, what was I saying now? Yeah, so the New World Order is being formed right before our eyes. And they're setting up the society where certain people going to live and work in certain areas in New York City. It's going to be the have and the have not. Okay, great, great. I'm glad I see that now. Great. Yeah, it's going to be a world of the have-nots. They're going to use blacks and Hispanics from the West Indies, like Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic. They're all treated the same. They're put in the same category, um, pretty much the same category, but they prefer more Hispanics over American, non-Hispanic blacks. That's how it goes in New York City. But they use blacks, though, for propaganda, even though Hispanics are a larger number in New York City. They use the race card for black people, black non-Hispanic, for the propaganda, with the police brutality and all that crap. I mean, brutality is brutality, regardless. But either way, um, so they're creating a division between the different groups that are in the city. A lot of the whites, you don't see that many white people now in New York City. You don't really see them. Um, yeah, you see, who do you see? At least in this area, you just see people of color. I mean, yeah, you see some white people, but since the CV-19, uh, you it's like if you do see white people, they're young, they're a young group. The ones with money, they left. They did a report on that the rich whites moved. Yeah, um, they had the money. They have the money to move to. They might have a second home somewhere else. So you don't see that type of clientele. Um, very little. What do you call it? Tourism. Tourism is gone now. Yeah, I live near an area where you have a lot of tourism. They're not there. You have the locals, local people, and it has a very feel. I personally don't like it. So that's why a lot of my videos that you see, I like to go to the park and everything. Yeah. So anyway, well, getting back with record, I know I'm a little all over the place, but I think it's all related in the sense that the dreams and the visions are indicating the times at hand, and what's that? And that the type of people I'm seeing in my dreams and vision, indicating that there's going to be um, a new generation living here. That's what I feel. That's what my impression was. Or it just could be a parallel world where I have a lot of people from Asia. And interesting, South Asia. There's more people from East Asia, like China, Korea, and the people from like Southern Asia, which would be like India, Pakistan. You don't see them as much. Yeah. But either way, yeah, get your records from school. It is your right. You have a right to all of, and make sure that you specify that you want your IQ scores or any tests, IQ tests, everything. You want the entire file. And they're going to probably say, oh, it might cost you whatever. So let it. You have a right to your records. Okay? Do that so that you can prepare for your life what they know about you. Because some jobs they want to get copies of your records, and you want to know what's in it. Also, I'm going to go further. Those of you who are veterans, get a copy of your records. Well, your yeah, I did ask for that. Um, yeah, I asked for my complete military file. Um, they don't give you it all. They don't. Yeah, military. It Yeah, because certain things that um, like medical things like that, they could give you. But like, let's say you had to file a complaint, things like that, or an incident that wasn't in there. Yeah, so they do hide information, but get what you can get, especially if you're a veteran. Um, yeah, it's about understanding your body, understanding you. Yeah, I've been watching other programs yesterday. Did you know that there are people who they put through um, trauma based. These were children, and yeah, there's a world out there that they don't really want you to know about. There's an ugly world to everything. And when I was watching that film, I mean, video, um, it let me know that it's not just a white and black thing. Yeah, they want you to get focused on racism. They want you to believe that that's happened. Yes, it is. Yes, I'm a grown woman in New York City, black woman from New York City, and yes, I faced a lot of biasness. Yes, a lot of racism, a lot of bigotry, a lot. They don't want you. It does exist, and it is systemic. But there are other things going on too. It's just to put. I'm saying this so that you put this in perspective. Different groups, different races, different groups are being targeted for different things because it is to achieve a goal. Okay? This is the point. Things that you see happening in the world, yes, certain things happen to certain groups because they want this system wants to create something out of it. So they oppress blacks, they harass blacks with cops. They do have that. Yes, some cops. Because I had a mother of a son. She could have been in her 60s or something like that, 50s, 60s, and her son was maybe in her 30s. And she lived in Brooklyn, New York. And she's crying to me. We went to the same church, and we were at a bus stop, and we were just waiting, and she was crying. I didn't know her, but we were going to the same church, and she just shared with me that the cops are following him and um, high on you. And he was just walking with his girlfriend at night. It was during the summer. It's hot outside, and people may not have air conditioning in their homes, and so they're just going out to get some air. And the cop just would follow him. Say, I'm watching you. I'm going to get you. And the mother was telling me. So yes, you do have cops who harass people and harass black people. You do have that. Um, but it's done for a reason. It's done to keep us afraid. And when you're in a fear mode, you're not able to think creatively. Fear just produces fear, a fight and flight behavior. That no real creativity could happen when you're in a fear mode. Um, so try to see through it, and I think that's why meditation could be very helpful to the Black community because it help you get in touch with your creative side and give you a sense of peace and control inside of you. Okay? Because you're in charge of your body, your mind. So you master it. Okay, master your mind, especially if you're a young person and you're living in a neighborhood that is poor and oppressive. Start tapping into your inner self. That's the only answer I have for that. And study. Teach yourself different things. Let's see. So yeah, so you have blacks that are being harassed and pressured, and they want to develop certain things. Uh, Certain other things that they want to develop out of black people, um, music, music, and a clue to that is, I was watching another program. Um, I forget the name of the group. Oh, it's called Rose Royce. Rose like the flower, Rose, and Royce. So it's like a play on the name Rolls Royce, like the car. They came out in the late 70s, I think. Oh yeah, 1976 around. There was a movie called Car Wash that came out, and the soundtrack of the movie was so popular. Yeah, it's on YouTube. The song, it was extremely extreme. It hit number one, I think. But the group that made the song was called Rose Royce, and you had a, what do you call it? A producer. He was a music what do you call it? He made music. He was in the music industry. He was a light skinned black fellow, and I forget his name, but he said in an interview that they purposely went into poor black neighborhoods to find talent, to find musical talent. See what I'm getting at? You have people, black people, white people, Jewish people, who focus and they prey on you, people. They prey on so called victims. They prey on you because, like that perfect diamond, so music. And he deliberately went there because he wanted to start a group, and so to his call own, and they made a big hit, and he was giving them what the producer was doing, the music producer was doing, was, yes, well, when you make music, you get royalties, right? And so, he did give the people checks, but he didn't give them all of it. And then periodically he would give them these things, what you call gifts. And so who would turn away gifts? They said, wow, gave them part of their royalties and kept the rest. And he played it off like he was a generous guy and just buying little things for them. No. And so they wanted his money, but they wanted their money. Yeah. So I think I share that story for you because just because someone is from your so called race doesn't mean that they're your friend. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. Just because someone looks like you and they're from your group, so called group, doesn't make him or even her your friend. He exploited them. Other people who exploit now, okay, you notice in certain neighborhoods they put the military, what do you call it, recruiting station near in these impoverished areas. Why is that? Where there's no poverty and everything, when there's no jobs, and make it available for them. They want you to go into the military because we're strong and we're good fighters. You go in the Middle East, like in Saudi Arabia, who are their police force? They get these giant black dudes. They look like giants. I don't know where they get them from, but they use them in the shopping malls. They're real tall and skinny. Yeah, they're in the movie like a Ghost Protocol. There's a movie called Ghost Protocol with what's his name? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. It's one of his better movies. And in the movie, Ghost Protocol, they're in a shopping mall in.
the Middle East. And who do you see at the doors for security? Those tall black dudes. Yeah, they purposely use them as like a military or fighting group. One, they're easily identifiable, so they don't get the Arab looking ones because they're blending with the rest of the population. So they seem to use them because they stand out, and you know who's on your side. And even Libya did the same thing. Libya and North Africa use recruit people from West Africa who are very dark in color to work up there in Libya. But after Gaddafi got assassinated, anybody who's black, they kidnapped and killed, and they're being held hostage. Yeah. So be careful. So people use us for reasons. Okay. So they put the pressure on us, and it brings out certain qualities in us. Some of it good and some of it's not so good. But the same things are happening. Uh, Stresses are happening to white people, and what they call satanic ritual abuse. Satanic ritual abuse occurs over time from infancy to adulthood. And it's like, and these people are used in what they call white slavery. They are actually being sold on the market. I think they said each person 50 to 70,000 people, and they have a market. And certain times of the year, they gather to buy people, according to uh, this interview that I saw with the guy used to be an FBI person, and uh, something Lundgren, something Ted something Lundgren or something like that. No, Anderson. Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, I know I'm kind of all over the place. Um, but yeah, be careful, people, because the times are shifting and changing, and you want to be safe. Be safe, and realize what's happening to you. You're not alone, and that different demographics are being put under certain traumas because the trauma is to produce a particular quality in that person so they could exploit it. That is the point. So if you're a black person, they're usually exploiting you to fill the prison system because prison is a private industry now, and so they get money for each body that goes into prison, or they exploit your sports ability or music ability. And for white people, they're traumatizing them. We call this um, we call it super soldiers, or sex slave stuff. Horrible, horrible, horrible what they're doing to humanity. Yeah, it's not. I used to think it's just a black thing that they're just doing things to black people. No, they're doing it to everybody. Everybody is a potential victim in all this. But you have you. Embrace yourself, love yourself, do your meditations, give positive affirmations to yourself in the mirror, and know that you are loved, and to care about yourself, and to surround yourself with like-minded people who eagerly desire the beautiful things in life like love. Love. Surround yourself with love. Okay, guys? So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I didn't expect it to be this long. But I go with the flow, I go with my heart. It's unscripted, it is what it is. So I thank you, people, for listening. And Enjoy your day. Okay? Bye bye.